Which type of satellite orbits closer to the Earth's surface? Hint: these satellites are used for purposes like Earth observation and communication. Well reasoned. Lower orbiting satellites is the correct choice. What type of satellite is primarily used for broadcasting television signals? Hint: these satellites transmit TV signals to homes across the globe. Valid point. Television broadcasting satellites is true. What type of satellites are used for precise positioning and navigation on Earth? Hint: these satellites provide GPS and other navigation services. Good thinking. Navigation satellites is the right answer. Which type of satellite is used for real-time weather forecasting? Hint: these satellites provide data for meteorological studies and forecasts. Exactly. Weather satellites make sense, and it is right choice. Which component of a satellite helps convert sunlight into electricity? Hint: these panels are essential for providing power to the satellite. Strong choice. Solar panels is the right answer. Which component of a satellite communication system is responsible for converting the received signals from the satellite into usable data? Excellent choice. Transponder is the right answer. What is the primary function of a satellite propulsion system? Hint: this system helps adjust the satellite's position and orbit in space. On track. Changing orbit is the correct answer. What is the name of the principle that allows satellite communication to work based on the reflection and refraction of radio waves? E. You chose Hertzian wave theory, and it is correct. What is a crucial component of satellite communication? Hint: this component helps transmit signals to and from the satellite. Nice selection. Antennas is the correct and valid answer. Which subsystem is responsible for tracking the satellite, receiving telemetry data, and sending commands to the satellite? Sharp thinking. Tracking telemetry and command is the right choice. What is the term for the event when the Earth blocks the communication signal between a satellite and an Earth station? Smart move. Earth eclipse of satellite is an accurate answer. What is the purpose of a satellite's power system? Hint: this system ensures continuous operation of satellite systems. Well picked. Providing electrical energy is the correct answer. What is the name of the phenomenon where a satellite is temporarily obscured by the Earth, causing a loss of signal? Excellent. Satellite eclipse is a brilliant choice. Which term refers to the process of modulating a carrier signal with the input signal in satellite communication? Solid response. Modulation is a valid choice. Dash is an artificial body that is projected from Earth to orbit either Earth, another body of solar systems. Nice work. You chose satellite, and it is correct. A few minutes disturbance in space communications occurs twice a year during sunblinding when dash are in line. Right again. Sun, satellite and Earth station is a valid answer. Which type of satellite communication is particularly vulnerable to atmospheric conditions like rain or snow? You're right. Microwave is the correct answer. What type of satellite TV service uses compressed data transmission to beam signals directly to every home? Correct response. direct broadcast satellite is the most accurate answer. Why is there a huge spectrum space between the transmitted and received signal in satellite communication? Smart pick. Reduce interference is the correct choice. A satellite that travels in an orbit that exactly matches the Earth's rotation is traveling in A. Right choice. Geostationary orbit is the best answer. India's first domestic geostationary satellite OneSat was launched on 10th April 1982 from Dash. Correct. USA is the right answer. What is the approximate delay in round-trip communication when using a geostationary satellite? Great thinking. 1 second is the right choice. Geostationary satellite are generally put in dash orbit and domestic satellite in dash orbit. Nicely done. Equatorial polar is a solid answer. Which of the following frequencies is typically used for satellite television broadcasting? Perfect. U-band is the correct choice. What is the point on the surface of the Earth that is directly below the satellite called? Well done. Subsatellite point is the right choice. The satellite that is used as a relay to extend communication distance is called as dash. You got it. Your choice communication satellites is right. A satellite signal transmitted from a satellite transponder to Earth station is dash. Clear logic. Your choice downlink is sound and 100% true. What is the main advantage of using multiple spot beams in satellite communication? Great job. Reduced interference is the accurate answer. Which country launched the world's first artificial satellite, Sputnik 1, in 1957? Good job. Your answer, Soviet Union, works well here. The number of days when Earth's shadow falls on a geosynchronous satellite is dash. Bravo, 88 is the answer. What are the primary methods used for station keeping in satellite communication? Well done. Thruster-based propulsion and gravitational forces is the right choice. Which of the following orbits is most commonly used for communication satellites? Great thinking. Geostationary orbit is the right choice. Which of the following is not a part of the propulsion subsystem of a satellite? On track. Gyroscope is the correct answer. The Earth segment of a satellite communications system consists of the following. Valid point. Both transmit and receive Earth stations is true. What is the purpose of the attitude and orbit control subsystem in a satellite? Smart move. To control the satellite's orientation and position in space is an accurate answer. Explain the concept of drift rate in the context of satellite station keeping. Sharp thinking. Speed of deviation from intended orbit is the right choice. As the height of a satellite orbit gets lower, the speed of the satellite dash. Great job. Increases is the accurate answer. What is the primary function of the power supply subsystem in a satellite? Excellent. Power generation is a brilliant choice. What is the primary cause of transmission losses in communication systems? Or, right again. Attenuation is a valid answer. What does the attitude and orbit control subsystem manage in a satellite? Bravo! Satellite's orientation and position in space is the answer. Which of the following are the satellite receivers on the Earth station? Excellent choice. All the above is the right answer. Why are VHF, UF, and microwave signals used in satellite communication? Smart pick. Are not diffracted by the ionosphere is the correct choice. The transmitter-receiver combination in the satellite is known as a dash. Nice selection. Transponder is the correct and valid answer. What is the reason for carrying multiple transponders in a satellite? Nicely done. More number of operating channel is a solid answer. What does the term system noise refer to in a communication system? You chose inherent noise within the system components, and it is correct. In satellite communication, what does the term telemetry refer to? Well reasoned. Monitoring and collecting data from the satellite is the correct choice. Orbital disturbances of a geosynchronous satellite are caused by the right choice. All of the above is the best answer. The Earth area covered by a satellite radio beam is known as dash. You're right. Footprint is the correct answer. In a communication link, the link power budget is a measure of solid response. Power losses along the transmission medium is a valid choice. The height of a geostationary satellite from Earth's surface is exactly 3930 km makes sense and it is right choice. What is the main characteristic of master antenna TV systems? Nice work. You chose one central antenna serves multiple users and it is correct. The first geostationary satellite launched in 1965 was called Clear Logic. Your choice, early bird, is sound and 100% true. What is another term for community antenna TV systems? Perfect. Cable TV is the correct choice. Which is not a characteristic of the L-band spectrum is dash. Good thinking. Wide bandwidth is the right answer. Why is station keeping important in satellite communication? You got it. Your choice to maintain the satellite's position and orientation in orbit is right. Which of the following types of satellite covers more area? Well picked. Geo is the correct answer. Dash collects very weak signals from a broadcast satellite. Correct. Satellite dish is the right answer. What is the primary purpose of a geostationary satellite? Good job. Your answer, long-distance communication, works well here. In satellite communication, what does blink refer to? Correct response. Transmission from ground station to satellite is the most accurate answer. What is the primary function of a satellite transponder? Strong choice. Amplify and relay signals is the right answer. The carrier-to-noise ratio for a satellite depends upon. You chose all of these, and it is correct. What is the role of eccentricity in satellite orbits? Perfect. It determines the shape of the orbit is the correct choice. Which type of satellite is satellite broadband using? Excellent choice. GEO is the right answer. Which of the following is not a satellite subsystem? Right choice. Ground station is the best answer. Mention the different services of satellite systems. Sharp thinking. Broadcasting satellite services is the right choice.
A geostationary satellite orbits around Earth once.
Smart move. Per day is an accurate answer. With reference to satellite orbit, perigee is the... Nice work. You chose lowest point in the orbit and it is correct. Rotation of a geosynchronous satellite means it's... Nice selection. Wobbling is the correct and valid answer.
A synchronous satellite orbits the Earth once in.
Well done. 24 hours is the right choice. The main advantage of satellite communication is... Exactly. High reliability makes sense, and it is right choice. A communication satellite is a repeater between... You're right. Many transmitting and many receiving station is the correct answer. Frequency range for satellite communication is... Good thinking. 1 GHz 30 GHz is the right answer. The height of geostationary satellite is dash. 35 to 30 km is the correct choice. A transponder is a satellite equipment which... Well reasoned. Does all of the above-mentioned functions is the correct choice. What is application of satellite systems? Great job. Weather forecasting is the accurate answer. Satellite power generation is through... Bravo! Solar cells is the answer. A geosynchronous satellite dash... Excellent. All the above is a brilliant choice. Geostationary satellite follow. Valid point. Elliptical path is true. Satellite engine uses dash. You got it. Your choice ion propulsion system is right. Intelsat stands for dash. Good job. Your answer international telecommunications satellite works well here. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format. Great thinking. Contact Narayan Changder is the right choice.